Hey guys, Jeff here. Welcome to another Monday message. As you can see, I am not in my office right now. I am in good old Nashville, Tennessee. Shout out to Brandon and Sammy for letting me crash at your crib. Now, what I want to talk about this week is swearing or is cussing a sin? Chipotle right now. By the way, I didn't actually swear there. I just felt like making that beep noise because I'm making a video about swearing. I actually said something about Chipotle. But here's the truth of the matter. This issue is actually not as black and white as we'd like to make it out to be. See, in fact, the Bible has a ton to say about our speech, our words, and our mouth. In fact, there's even one verse in James where James basically uses the imagery of saying that, it only takes basically a tiny match to set a whole forest on fire, and so it is with our tongues. That with the tiniest thing or with the simplest of words, we can actually reap destruction and hurt and pain. And he even says that with the same mouth you usually bless the Lord with, you also use to curse or make fun of. And that has a huge significance and weight to it. And that's the first verse we have to let sink in, because if we're honest and we see that, we realize that James is actually saying that when we make fun of someone or reap pain or gossip or damage upon them, we are actually assaulting our Creator, right? In the same way, when there's an image or a statue of some king in antiquity and you put graffiti on it, or you spill paint on it, or you try to destroy it, that's actually an assault on the royal authority. And so it is with us, that every time we open our mouth and it reaps death or destruction on another human being, it's not only bad in and of itself, but it's actually an assault on our Creator. And so one of the biggest things I want you guys to hear in this video is words have weight. That's one of the main things the Bible always says about words, is that they can be for life or they can be for death. And I know plenty of people, followers of Jesus, Christian people, who have never said a four-letter word in their life. They've never said the F word or the S word, but they've reaped destruction on other people by their gossiping, by their making fun of someone, by their kind of snarky sarcasm or jokes. In the kingdom of God, we need to know that as followers of Jesus, it's not a matter of, oh, have we said this word today or not said that word, but it's actually, are our words building up other people every moment? Are our words, here's a barometer, by the way. How do you speak to and how do you treat the people that seem to be able to do nothing for you? Meaning the postman, a server at a restaurant, all these different things. How do you treat the people that culture sometimes says is serving you? How do you treat them back? Because our words will be kind of a mirror or a reflection of what's going on in our heart. And that's another thing that Jesus basically says about our words, is they reveal our heart. It's almost like our words are a billboard of what's going on in our heart. So if you want to know what a person's like, their character, their integrity, just hang out with them a while and see what they start talking about, because the words sooner or later will reveal what is down in the heart. I know for me, I always have to wrestle with this, usually whenever I get upset or annoyed or angered. That's kind of the situation that seems to boil up my heart and let it come out of my mouth. And when that happens, I really get to see what I'm truly made of and whether or not my words are building up or if they're hurting. And honestly, one of the scariest things Jesus ever says is in the Gospel of Matthew also, where he basically says that we will actually give an account for every single word we've ever said. And I think sometimes that doesn't totally sink in. The place it really doesn't sink in is how we talk online. See, the same words that we're typing are still considered words. And so if we're thinking them and we're typing them, those are still the same words that we're going to be held to account for. And I don't think we realize that, because we've so commodified our culture and we don't see people online as real people. We see them as avatars or 2D images or pixels. And so we say things about them we would never say over coffee or if we met them in person. And we have to wrestle with that. We have to reconcile that with the fact that so many of us say so many bad things about celebrities or make fun of them when they do something dumb, or just kind of critique them or snarky or sarcastic in a way that is actually revealing what's going on in our heart, not theirs. And lastly, I love what Paul says in Ephesians. He basically says, let no corrupting talk come out of your mouth. Now that seems pretty general. Nothing that corrupts, right? And I think Paul sometimes doesn't give us the black and white rule, because it's actually how we become holistic and further into that beauty and shalom when we realize that we have to assess every word that comes out of our mouth, not just this one or this one, but let no corrupting talk come out of our mouth. He says then, let only what is good for building up, so that it might give grace to those who hear. That right there is the barometer. Let nothing corrupting come out of your talk. Don't let anything that breeds death, don't let anything that breeds destruction come out of your mouth. But what if we actually let our mouths be a place where only words came out that built up, that encouraged, that loved, that spoke truth over people, love over people, compassion over people, so that it might give grace to those who hear. See, now, I've never been in a situation where the F word or the S word gives grace to those who hear, but we also have to leave the door open for that, because that's what the barometer is. What gives grace to those who hear? And then we also have to wrestle with the fact that as followers of Jesus, what comes out of our mouth represents our King, right? What comes out of our mouth not only represents our heart, but it also represents Jesus. And so how we speak, people will say, That's what a follower of Jesus is like, and I have to always constantly be battling with that of, am I talking in a way that represents Jesus well? And of course we'll fail at that, and there's so much grace for us, but we also want to ask that as well. And I think the reason we want to do that is because we're mimicking the beauty and truth of God speaking truth over us. I even use this example in chapter 4, I think, of It's Not What You Think, my newest book, with Alyssa, right? So Alyssa will actually speak truth over me. She'll say kind words of, you're a great father, you're a great husband, you're compassionate, you're loving, I'm thankful for you. And the truth of the matter is, I'm not those things all the time. There's times where I'm not a good father, not a good husband, and I'm not compassionate, and I'm not loving. But Alyssa knows that words have the power to create futures. Those words can pull me into my identity. And so when she's saying those things over me, they actually build me up, and they actually enable me to become more of a better father and husband, more loving and more compassionate, and so on and so on. And you know that's true in the opposite side of things as well, right? When people are constantly, and I feel like this was, kind of the movie scene of high school and middle school, where constantly people are making fun of everyone and, making jokes and all these different things. You start to believe that about yourself. You start to believe that you're not good enough. You start to believe you're unworthy because you're letting those voices say that's true, even though they're lies, and you're starting to believe that. Words have the power to pull us into the future, to pull us into our destiny, to pull us into our identity, or continually pull us into lies and falsehood and things that are not true. And so the question is your speech building up? Is your speech encouraging? It's not about, are we saying this word or this word? It's actually, are we creating life or death with our mouth? You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching. A few things, check out the stuff over there. Make sure to subscribe. Also, if you haven't heard, I've been talking about my friend's company, Datebox. They're amazing. If you're a couple, then you have to check it out because it's absolutely incredible. What it is basically a subscription model where they send you a date in a box every single month. We had one that was a gingerbread house kit and hot cocoa and really cute mugs, and there was a cooking class, all these different things. And so it delivers straight to you. It's all in the box. It's super cute. Totes fresh, totes adorbs. It's amazing. Go to getdatebox.com, promo code BethKey, and if you want to check it out, it is amazing. Also, significant other not included. So if you're single, maybe get a box, invite someone over, but there ain't going to be no boyfriend in the box, if you know what I mean. All right, love you guys. Peace.